Welcome back. Now, still to come, fertility experts Professor Robert Winston and Zita West are here to answer some of your questions. That's in a few minutes.
But first, it's competition time now, and if 30 grand isn't enough, we're also chucking in a luxury holiday, a swanky car. Here's Brian McFadden and Vogue Williams with all the details. I like the word swanky.
Good luck indeed. Now, all this week, as part of our Pathway to Parenthood series, we've been following various couples who, for reasons, have been struggling to conceive.
And to round off the week, fertility experts Professor Robert Winston and Zita West are here to answer some of your questions.
Morning to you both. Good morning. Now, lots to get through today, as you can imagine. First of all, I want to talk to you, Robert, about the story that's been in the press about over-the-counter kits to check sperm counts. Now, what do you think about this?
Well, I don't know of any published information that it works.
Right.
And I wouldn't advise people to buy it, I think, end of story.
Really?
Okay.
Oh, OK.
OK.
OK, fine.
And Zita, apparently carrots are good for male fertility. Is that true?
I think it's, you know, we're increasingly seeing now that food, nutrition is really, really important for fertility. And it's not just carrots, it's a broad spectrum of multicoloured foods provide antioxidants which are good for sperm.
OK, brilliant. Now,
I'm actually not sure that carrots really make any difference, Zita. I'm
No,
sorry
I
to
know, but
argue with you. I mean, I think it's a real issue that we give very loose information to infertile people and worry them about their problems. Right. And the fact is that infertility is a deeply corrosive, deeply anxiety-making condition, and there's a risk of making it worse by getting people to use homespun remedies which actually don't have the proof of evidence that they really work.
But food is
well,
yeah,
you say that, but you know, I don't
fruit
know.
And veg.
Zita, forgive me. I know of no research evidence which shows that carrots change sperm counts.
It's not just about carrots. It's about a whole broad spectrum of foods.
Well,
and encouraging, you know,
Zita,
couples trying for a baby.
You're on television being watched by millions of people. You have a responsibility to give accurate information.
Yeah.
right, we have lots of questions, lots of people waiting on the line. So first of all, we have a question from Joe. Morning, Joe.
Morning.
Morning. Can you hear us?
I can, yeah.
OK, brilliant. Fire away, Joe.
Good morning. Hi, lovely to speak to you all. My question is, how do you know when it's time to stop? At the moment, I feel like IVF is a really expensive gambling addiction, and I just keep hoping that next time I'm going to win. I'm currently just waiting to see if my third and probably last go of IVF has worked. And we're really lucky that we get to blastocyst embryos each time, which is a great result, we're told by the doctors. But if this final go doesn't work, I guess I'm hoping or questioning if there's any hope. We've spent around £20,000 so far and now run out of money. And I'm really questioning, is it time to stop and draw a line under it?
See, it's a great question, you know. Joe's waiting to see if her last cycle IVF has worked. So when do you think she should stop, Zita?
I think it's very hard. I mean, you know, what Joe's dealing with at the moment is waiting for her positive pregnancy test, and what she's dealing with is uncertainty, and that's very, very difficult.
Yeah.
But I think while she's in this time, she should be focused on where she's at without sort of looking ahead. But it's a very, very difficult question, and a reason that somebody would give up depends on many factors, on how many times they've had IVF, on their financial status, etc. But if she's young with blastocysts, she does stand a good chance.
OK, Joe, well, I hope that's helped.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you,
Best
Joe.
of luck.
The next question is from Gareth. Gareth, are you there?
Yes, speaking.
Hello.
Hi, Gareth. Go ahead with your question
Hello.
for Robert.
I'm currently, I'm an injured serviceman, and I've been on several medications for about 5 years now. Really strong medication, and I've been told that I'm 95% inactive sperm count.
I mean, what medication are you on?
I'm on pregabalin, methocarbamol, duloxetine, naproxen, chlorodiazepoxide, and codeine. I've just recently come off the buprenorphine patches and Oromorph.
And what's the underlying condition that you're taking the medication for?
It's a nerval damage in my spine.
Yes. Well, I think those drugs could well be having something of an effect. Have you had a good expert male opinion?
Yeah, I've done 2 sperm counts.
No, that's not what I mean. Not sperm counts, but have you actually seen a senior consultant under the National Health Service who can advise you about?
No, I haven't.
Well,
no.
I think that's what I would advise you to do.
Okay. So when I'm get discharged from the forces, go to the NHS.
There are a number of people who would give you disinterested advice, which should be available for free under the National Health Service.
Okay.
And there are places in London where you can do that.
Right, okay.
Is it just London, Robert? Is there other places around
Well,
the country?
There's Birmingham, Manchester, excellent place in Newcastle. There are very good National Health Service places all over the country. One of the problems is that, unfortunately, infertility has become a huge private endeavour.
Right.
And it's often forgotten that the academic units are really valuable in giving that sort of advice.
Right.
I might just say that what I'm doing, I don't have any private clinic, I don't have any clinic, I don't have any kind of vested interest in treating patients. But we have a charitable trust, the Genesis Research Trust, and what we're doing now is to give free information to people who dial into our website to help them get dispassionate, completely uncommercial advice about what they might do. And that might be helpful to some of your listeners worldwide.
I'm sure it will. I hope that helps, Gareth.
Yeah,
Great.
thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Now, Tara has a question. Are you there, Tara?
Yeah.
Fire away. Tara?
Hiya.
Hello. Can you hear?
I'm 25 and I had both of my fallopian tubes removed due to bilateral hydrosalpinx. I've been awarded 2 sessions of IVF on the NHS. Now, because the cost of obviously IVF is so expensive, it's unlikely that I'll be able to afford any more after that. Basically, I just wanted an honest answer of what are my chances of conception with these 2 free sessions.
So, the question for both of you. Tara can only have 2 sessions of IVF. She's worried about her chance of getting pregnant. So, question for both of you, really. Start with you, Zita.
Well, she's young, which is really, really good. And in my experience, many women that are young with problems with hydrosalpinx do quite well if everything else is okay. So I think she stands a very, very good chance.
OK, that's positive to hear.
Shall we look at the national figures and just be accurate?
Yes.
The national figures for in vitro fertilisation are around about 25% per cycle. Clinics often exaggerate those figures, but that actually is the base rate, and that can be checked, Charles. You've got about a 50-50 chance of getting pregnant with 2 cycles. Actually, NICE, the government's own body, has recommended a minimum of 3 cycles, and it might be worthwhile pursuing your local authority to see whether that might be possible. But, you know, with the situation you're in vitro fertilisation is probably the only choice.
OK. Tara, hopefully that's helped you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tara.
Thank you, Tara.
Thank you. Best of luck.
Now we've got Leanne. Leanne, you've got a question for the guys?
Hiya. I want to donate my womb for ladies who can't have children. I've got 4 children of my own, and I've been researching it, but there doesn't seem to be that much information online.
Wow, OK. Amazing that you want to do that. Any advice?
Well, Leanne, you're wonderful.
Truly
but
wonderful.
I think you have to ask yourself whether that's really sensible. Womb transplants have been done in Sweden on 1 or 2 occasions. They've been done in Turkey once. There's one person trying to do them in Britain, I think in London. But the womb transplant is not without risk to the recipient, actually a very serious risk in my view. And the chances of a womb transplant actually working are rather small. So I think you need to think really what the other fact that if you don't need your uterus to be removed, I think there is an issue about whether you should actually have an operation that might be unnecessary.
Right, OK.
So if you are fit and well, I think I think it's probably a decision which is a very, very difficult one to justify.
So she's thinking about it for a bit longer. OK, I hope that's helped.
Yes, it has. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Leanne.
Laura's next. Laura, what's your question? Laura?
Hello.
Hello. Have you got a question?
Hiya. Thanks for talking to me.
No problem. Thanks for calling.
Hi. Well, basically, me and my husband have been together over 10 years now, and 3 years ago we decided to start our family. After 1 year, nothing happened. So we went to the doctors. 2 years on, we've found out now that my husband suffers low damaged sperm count, and I have slight PCOS. The way it is now, we need IVF, but unfortunately my BMI is too high at the moment. It's actually 35 when I believe it should be 30. Yeah. Obviously been trying to lose weight and everything. It's very frustrating at the moment, but basically, naturally, my husband may need an operation, but this could damage him permanently. So I just wanted your opinion on what's the best thing to do. Obviously, weight
until we can have IVF, or is there anywhere that can do it now if we pay, you know, or should we get the operation?
OK. Robert, what do you think?
What's your BMI? You haven't told us.
Oh, sorry, 35.
35.
35. Well, then you're...
And it should be 30, I believe.
Well, should be lower than that probably a bit.
Right.
You're really overweight, and what we know from wide experience is that people who are with that BMI have a less than half the success rate of people who are of normal weight.
Okay.
And sometimes, very surprisingly, people who just lose weight get pregnant. And that applies to a large number of people who are listening to this programme, that weight loss is a highly effective treatment, just that, for infertility. And one has to ask oneself, can you justify paying for IVF or other treatments when actually weight loss is really the key issue? Because it upsets hormonal balance in the body.
Right, Zita, what do you think?
Well, I think lifestyle factors as well. You know, exercise is really important if you've got PCOS, and diet also can have an impact.
Right.
But there's emotional connotations as well when you're overweight,
course.
and it's, you know, really, really hard not to be able to get to your goal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that helps, Laura.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for
Thank
calling.
you, Laura.
Thank you
Best of
very
luck.
much.
Okay. We've got Truda from Bognor Regis now. Trudy, you there?
Hi there.
Hi, Trudy.
Hiya. Basically, obviously, I've just heard what you've said to the previous person. My BMI is 32 at the moment. I've got polycystic ovaries, and I was on Clomid for a year. In between that year, I had to have an operation for tubal surgery. Then I started the Clomid again, but I found that since I've been on the Clomid, I've found it very hard to lose weight, and I'm doing the exercise. My lifestyle's like really energetic. I'm exercising, but I mean, from being told by doctors, being on the Clomid and having polycystic ovaries does put the weight on you. But then obviously you've got to lose it for IVF, and I've just had my right fallopian tube removed, and they said that they'd start the IVF, but they didn't inform me about the weight loss, which I can understand now why I've got to lose the weight. But it seems like a big long list for people that are infertile, when you get people out there that are normal, can fall pregnant, and they will have weight on them, or, you know, they drink, they smoke, whatever. And I'm just wondering, why is it such a big long list for ourselves when we're meant to be, you know, treated normally as it is, even though it's quite hard because we're infertile?
What do you think, Zita?
I think it's very difficult. It's very similar to the lady before in terms of trying to get the weight off before you can go through IVF. But there are risks to doing IVF if you are overweight as well. So she's doing everything she can.
Yeah, Robert?
Stop the Clomid. There's no point in taking Clomid. Taking Clomid for longer than a year is useless, actually, and there needs to be clear evidence that you are not ovulating, and that actually that you are ovulating on clomiphene, which means having regular scans. And unless you are, you should stop the Clomid. So first thing to do is to stop Clomid. Secondly, I think you really do need to focus on your weight, because if doing so, by taking exercise and, as Zita says, all the lifestyle changes that you need, you will undoubtedly improve your chances of having a baby, and that is worth going for. Of course it's emotionally difficult, but people can do it. People do it all the time, and it requires the resolve. If you really want that goal, go for it.
Yeah.
And Trudy, if you go to your doctor as well and talk to him about stopping your medication, I think that's you know,
Well,
the best
I stopped
advice.
the Clomid about a year ago, it was.
Oh,
so,
right.
Okay.
And it's just been an ongoing battle.
Okay.
Well,
listen,
don't take it, because it won't help you get pregnant. You know, doctors often dish out Clomid because they haven't got anything else to offer the patient. It's a bit like offering people with a sore throat an antibiotic. There's no indication for Clomid in your case. I'm prepared to bet there isn't an indication for Clomid. And actually, Clomid can make you infertile because it will actually reduce your risk of ovulation if you are ovulating already. So unless you're already being investigated for ovulation, this applies to everybody who's listening, they shouldn't take clomiphene unless there's a clear indication that it's needed.
Okay.
Right.
It was initially developed as a contraceptive pill, clomiphene.
Oh, wow.
That was how it was discovered, and it was found that people still got pregnant on it. So then it
Right.
became a fertility pill. But it's not a good treatment for people who are ovulating.
Okay.
Well, Trudy, I hope that helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you.
Thanks for calling.
Professor and Zita,